Hi guys, Elliott here from the product team at Soundcraft, and welcome to chapter 4 of our UI series tutorial videos. Today I'm going to be taking you through the edit page. So we've looked at all the processing objects within a standard input channel, but there are in fact a few more processing objects available on some input channels and of course our outputs as well. The first two channels on the UI series console feature Digitech amp modeling processing. I can show you where to access that now. So if I come out of the edit page here for channel 4 and I select channel 1 or 2, press the edit tab here, you can see here we have a new tab called Digitech. If I select that, I'm now on the Digitech amp modeling page. If I turn it on over here, I can now access all of my controls for the Digitech amp modeling. This page will be covered in depth by my colleague in a further tutorial video. But basically this page is your one-stop shop for all guitar sounds, and also you get access to other channel parameters all in this one screen. The Digitech tab is only available on channels 1 and 2. I can easily go into the channel 2 Digitech tab by selecting channel 2 down here. That works for all of our input channels here. If I select EQ, I can move to channel 4 no problem using this bar down here. I can also scroll across my channels by clicking and dragging the bar and then selecting channel 8. This is a quick way of navigating around all the EQs or dynamics on your console without having to exit the edit screen. Now if I move across my bar towards my output buses, onto aux 1 here, you can see we have a new processing tab here, and this is for our graphic EQ. Every output on a UI series console has a 31 band graphic EQ. Here you can see the low 16 bands of your 31 band EQ, and by selecting the other half of this display here, we can access the next 15 bands. All of these points you can grab and move just like the EQ points on the parametric EQ page, and you also get fine control of these bands by using the fader over here. 31 bands is plenty in order to ring out any of your monitoring systems at a venue and to reduce the likelihood of feedback during a show. Whilst we're on the topic of feedback, we also have Dbx Feedback Suppression on every aux output on the console. If you see down here on the left, we can access our AFS2 settings here. Now my colleague Sean will talk more about this in detail. To the right of the AFS2 we have an RTA, much the same as the input RTA. This displays a spectrum analyzer derived directly from the output signal. To the right of the RTA button we also have a reset button and of course a bypass button too. As with our other processing objects, the graphic EQ has a preset recall as well. This is great for storing and recalling EQ settings for a specific monitor or a monitor in a venue or such like. Moving on from the graphic EQ, every output on the console also has a compressor and a gate. A compressor on an output can be useful if you want to restrict the output of a wedge to prevent any damage occurring to the speaker or anything like that, if there's any loud peaks in the sound. And it can also help keep stage volume down to a reasonable level. Just be careful on your compressor settings on your outputs, otherwise you could cause feedback. Now the effects sends tab on a bus. Now up here you see we have the effects sends tab here as well. Now as the text here suggests, these three faders are adjusting the return of the reverb, delay and chorus into the aux 1 bus. So if I turn up the reverb here, then the reverb is going to be sent to the aux 1 bus. This is good for a vocalist if they want a bit of sweetening in their monitor mix, give them a bit of inspiration whilst they're on stage. As I mentioned, every aux output has a graphic EQ, a compressor and a gate control, and that also includes the master output here. If I just select the master label here, I now have the exact same settings for the master. 31 band graphic EQ, compressor and gate, master effects returns, and we can also access the aux masters here. So this is the master level for aux 1, aux 2, and in these two grayed out faders here. I'll explain more about those later. Now, if I quickly return out of this edit page here, there are actually a few shortcuts that we can use from this screen to quickly access parts of the edit page for a specific channel. For example, let's say I wanted to edit the EQ for channel 1. I could select channel 1, press edit, scroll to EQ, and that's absolutely fine. However, what you also can do is you can double tap the fader here, and that will take you directly to the EQ page. Now if I come out of that and I do that for channel 8, double tap the fader here, and I jump directly to the EQ page for that channel. We can also access the dynamics page for any channel by simply double tapping the channel label here, like so. Tap for channel 3, like that. If I scroll across to these other channels over here, and if I enter the EQ for the line inputs, you can see that our line inputs have a comprehensive channel strip as well with EQ and dynamics. Our USB return can be treated as a normal channel as well with an EQ and dynamics page. Our effects returns have their own processing as well. And even our subgroups have a totally independent channel strip setting. This equates to quite a lot of power and plenty of parameters here to keep you busy.